Yes? Hello there. I just finished a lovely conversation with Uncle Leo. It seems he's not feeling well today. Lost an arm. I see you've done quite a bit of work to track me down. Yes, I orchestrated it. Syl deserves to die a painful death for turning on all of us and consorting with our enemies. Go ahead, do what you will. Nothing matters now. Haven't you got what you need? Shouldn't you be running off to tattle like a good little servant? I'd buy my weapons at Cutter's. She has a way with blades. See you.
Speak quickly, mortal.
What news do you have to report, Inquisitor? Have you found who is responsible? Is that so? I shall have her brought to the torture chamber at once. Meet me there shortly. You've confessed to attempting to kill me, I understand. The penalty for this treachery is death, and is to be carried out immediately. You see now what happens when those who oppose me fail, which they always do. I'm pleased with your work, Inquisitor. As a token of my appreciation, I shall spare your life and make you a courtier of dementia. In addition, accept this bow. May your enemies fear you and never know from where or with what enchantment you shall strike. The gatekeeper's been killed. This is only the first step. They'll be coming for me next! See you.
Welcome to the House of Mania. Speak, sister. Speak, sister.
Ah, yes. There you are. You couldn't imagine how long I've been waiting for you. So little to do and so much time. Could you, in fact, imagine just how long I've been waiting? I don't think you could, but I might be wrong. I might also not care. Which is it? Oh, I wouldn't say that. How long is an eon when you're 10,000 feet tall? Or if you're purple? It's all relative, you see. You wouldn't really know how long it's been, since you weren't here. If you'd been here, it would have been no time at all. So who's to say? Don't answer that. I know the answer. I knew far more answers once, but they seem to have dried up. Or perhaps they drowned. I don't know anymore. You see? You see what I have to deal with? I can't recall if I'm coming or you're going without the chalice of reversal. Oh, now you've upset me. Oh, so you've heard of it? Then you know why I want it back. Can you imagine trying to eat Feldew without it? Disastrous. Curse that woman. We hold on to fleeting things, even as we slip. I knew, and yet I indulged myself anyway. I indulged her a fair bit, too. It was passion. It was forbidden. Oh, the things that would be said if word got out. That made it all the more delicious. From Dementia's own court, no less. Scandalous. Fatal, perhaps. But passion makes no accommodation for self-preservation. Well, aren't you the clever one? Mind you don't get too full of yourself. You might explode. Opposites repel, strangely enough. All that pleasure and pain locked away now, as if it never happened. Unfortunately, the chalice is locked away as well. I have no wish to retrieve it myself, but fetching it might do you some good. My head is positively throbbing now. Can you see it? I need to lie down. Find someone to tell you the rest of the story. Get the chalice.
Feel free to take what you need, the fruits of the conservatory, or for all to enjoy. Go. Welcome to the Halcyon Conservatory. Welcome to the House of Mania. Welcome to the House of Mania. The chalice is one of the Duke's prized possessions. He has been at a loss without it. Go.
we are, safe indoors. Nothing to harm us here, is there? Thaden's problem, not mine. I've heard that Gnarl gets stronger when hit by some spells. Bye.
Yes? Do you have business in the house of... You have the stink of mania about you. Leave before I start vomiting. You have... Say what you're going to say. Oh, I appreciate the gesture. What a thoughtful gift. For me, thanks. You think I care for Thaden's toys? It matters not to me whether he suffers in agony or erases his mind with drugs. But if you insist, do you know the lengths of his depravity? How low he stoops to pursue his pathetic lifestyle? Feldew is a poison. It kills. And yet Thaden uses the chalice he created to twist Feldew into a drug he takes for his own amusement. How sick! If he was smart, he'd thank Sheogorath it's out of his hands now. And of course, he'd never risk himself traveling through Dunroot Burrow to get it. I've told you what I will. The chalice is a corruption. Feldew is a poison, not an amusement. You're better off leaving the chalice where it is. It's a poison, plain and simple. It'll make you wish you were dead. And given enough time, you will be. The elytra in Dunroot Burrow. The ones that secrete it are immune, but they're the only ones. If the Feldew didn't kill you, the elytra would. You're better off just leaving the thing in the ruins above the burrow. I've told you, it'll kill you. Actually, now that I think about it, why don't you go eat some? Eat all you can find. I'd get a chuckle out of that. I'm not about to go to the missing pauldron, even if they do sell armor. I'll stay in Crucible, thank you. See you. Get out!
Get out! Get out!
Get out! Get out!
Blessings, citizen.
Aye. Your lips to his ears. Ravenbiter runs the choosy beggar. Not a bad place. Not my place to talk about it. You need to know, you talk to Wide-Eye. See you later.
Why do you speak to me when you have the chalice but have not yet returned it? Oh, it wouldn't do to speak of it. Thaden's plan for you, I mean. I like you, little one, but I would never interfere with what Thaden wants. Oh, it wouldn't do to speak... I'm listening. That will get you something. Well, perhaps Thaden would want you to have a bit more guidance. He did say that you should talk to me, did he not? Feldu is a poison, little one, a very dangerous drug. You'll feel good at first, but that wears off, and if you go long without it, you'll suffer. That Museum of Oddities is a joke, although I hear Una Armina will pay for certain items. Is Thaden not waiting for you to return the chalice? Go to him then. Do not anger him, for then you risk angering me as well. Farewell.
Alive and kicking, are you? The triumphant champion returns. So, do you feel any different now that you've been through this experience, I mean? You know what it's like now, always wanting that next fix, hating it but craving it at the same time, and hating yourself for all of it. Ah, well, all over now. The chalice helps, doesn't it? Indeed it does, and I could use some helping right now. I'll just take that back from you. And as a token of my gratitude, I grant you the role of Courtier of Mania, with all of its entitlements. Which is to say, none.
Greetings.
The zealots in the lands of dementia believe...
Welcome.
Always.
Well, well, you've experienced both shades of madness. Wonderful. You seem fulfilled. Full of fill. Bursting at the seams. Seamless. Now, to the meat of your endeavor. The crux of the situation. The reason for your being here. And the likely cause of your death. You'll be stopping the Grey March, altering the course of events, breaking the cycle. A fly in the ointment, a new cause for a different effect. We're going to change things. No, things will be different this time around. You'll be my champion. You'll grow powerful. You'll grow to be me, Prince of Madness, a new Sheogorath. Or you'll die trying. I love that about you. A fair question. You won't really. At least I don't think so. But you'll have power. My power. Try not to lose it. It's a pain to replace. But for all intents and purposes, you'll be me. A me to fight the him, since I won't be around. It's simple, really, if you don't think about it. Because you seem a nice enough sort, and you've made it this far. And if you don't, I'll swallow your soul and vomit it into the ever-filling chamber pot of the ageless. But mostly because I asked nicely. Well, not here. Didn't I say that? I'm never here when Jiggalag walks. It's one of the rules. I've told you too much for now. Listen to me. Prattle on. I can see your mortal brain straining. We'll talk more later. Now, you've seen the great torch that burns brightly over New Sheoth. No, because it doesn't. It should, but it doesn't. You'll fix that. You'll go to Cylorn and bring back the flame of Agnon to relight the torch. Oh, and take care with my minions at Cylorn. In their eternal quest to please me, they're constantly fighting over Cylorn. It can be tiresome, but really, it's divine. Divinely tiresome. Well, that's your problem now. Off with you. I don't want to see you again until the great torch is lit. I wouldn't want to have to hurt you much. Oh, don't forget to make use of dear Haskell. Between you and me, If he's not summoned 3 or 4 times a day, I don't think he feels appreciated. Aren't you the curious one? You know what they say about curiosity, though, don't you? It killed the intrepid adventurer who really should just be doing exactly what I say at all times! You're going to stop the Grey March by becoming me. Or a version of me. You'll be powerful. Powerful enough to stop Jigalag. That's where you're going to get the Flame of Agnon. Do you listen to anything I say? Do your ears work? If not, I can find use for them. Go and fetch the flame. Bring it to the Cecellum. Light the great torch. How are you going to be me if you can't even do what me tells you? The great torch shines brightly above New Sheath, a beacon of hope for all the citizens. Except it doesn't! It's gone out! Happens every time the Grey March begins, which it has. Makes all of my subjects uneasy, tense, homicidal, some of them at least. We need to get that torch relit before the place falls apart. He's on his way, so I'm on my way out. It's terribly inconvenient, don't you think? You're going to stop him, though, and the first thing to do is to make my people feel safe. Otherwise, they tend to go work for him. It's annoying, to tell the truth, a bit hurtful, but they do it every time. Join up with the enemy and become priests of order. It's what's used to light the great torch. Haven't we covered this? You'll find it in Sylarn, guarded by my saints and seducers. They're getting more active every day. Not a good sign. You know what would be a good sign? Free sweet rolls! Ho, ho, ho! Who wouldn't like that? Shut them down where you can, and make sure to kill the priest you see around them. If you don't, they can reactivate the obelisk. They're the worst of all. My own subjects, working for the enemy. It's enough to make an old Daedric prince get all weepy. It doesn't help that they're the ones who make the obelisks work. A little chanting, a little ritual, and poof, Knights of Order. Bad news. Kill them when you see them, but don't touch the corpse until they're really dead, which they aren't until you deactivate the obelisk. Ta! Come visit again, or I'll pluck out your eyes!
Sheogorath, state your business. Sylarn is holy ground, unfit for mortals. Then you are free to enter the shrine of the Flame of Agnon. This key will allow you passage through any door in Sylarn. The flame is lit from the shrine's 2 altars. Once the Orioles are driven out of Sylarn, it will be our pleasure to light the flame for Sheogorath. The Grokedric Ulfri will explain everything. You should speak to her at once.
The Mazkin are unworthy to guard the Altar of Despair. Halt! Mortals are not permitted within the walls of Holy Sylarn. My pardon, Lord. Receive this key, and with it free passage throughout the shrine of the Flame of Agnan. Alas, we cannot light the flame until we take control of the Altar of Despair from the infernal Mazkin. The Armazel Khana would wish to speak to you at once. Proceed through this door to our main encampment at the Altar of Rapture.
The Altar of Rapture will be ours. What is it, emissary? The counterpart to the Altar of Despair. Rapture is currently held by the Orioles in their complacency, but that will soon change. The holy flame can only be lit from the Altars of Despair and Rapture. Alas, the Orioles hold Rapture for now. You should speak to the Grokedric Ulfri at once. She will be glad of your help to rid Sylarn of the arrogant Orioles once and for all. You know us as Dark Seducers, a name given us by our enemies. But we are the Mazkin in our own tongue, Sheogorath's only truly loyal servants. She is the Grokedric, commander of the Mazkin here at Sylarn. She has never yet been defeated by the Orioles, despite their strength. Our rivals, the so-called Golden Saints. One day Sheogorath will finally recognize their bull-headed stupidity and expel them from the realm. For Sheogorath's glory.
My soul for Sheogorath. Alas, we have not seen the Altar of Despair for many years. It is in the underground part of Sylarn, which is controlled by the Mazkin. The Mazkin do not even allow us free passage to worship there, which is one of the many reasons why they are unfit to continue to guard it. It is on the east side of Sylarn, which we hold for Lord Sheogorath. The Armazel Khana has her command post there. She commands the Orioles here at Sylarn. She has just arrived with reinforcements from Brellock to end this stalemate once and for all. Our home and sanctuary here in the Shivering Isles. The flame is only lit at the command of Sheogorath, from the altars of rapture and despair within the shrine itself. I'm sure the Armazel Khana will be glad to help you once the Mazkin are driven from the altar of despair. The treacherous ones, the dark seducers of ill repute, whose every action drags Sheogorath's holy name through the mud. That's what we call ourselves, the most loyal and honorable servants of Sheogorath. For Sheogorath's glory.
My scouts reported no signs of the Mazkin in the Underdeep. It's our best chance to take them unawares.
Too risky. It's likely to be a trap. They could cut us to pieces down there if they knew we were coming.
With all due respect, Armazel, I ask that you reconsider. The main passage is strongly defended. Perhaps if you'd allow me to scout further.
Enough! I've made my decision. We will attack down the main passage as planned. The Mazkin will not withstand us.
Sheogorath's blessing.
This is no place for a mortal. We are about to join battle against the Maskin. You'd best stand aside. My pardon, emissary. I am at your service. We are preparing to sweep the Maskin scum from Cylon. Perhaps Sheogorath sent you to help us. Only the servants of Sheogorath can light the flame, by kindling the altars of despair and rapture which feed the flame. Alas, we hold only the altar of rapture. The treacherous Maskin hold the altar of despair. We must control both to light the flame. If you help us seize the altar of despair from the Maskin, I will be honored to kindle the flame of Agnon for my lord Sheogorath. The flame is fed from the altar of rapture and the altar of despair. Only servants of... Once we capture the altar of despair from the Maskin, the only way to assault the altar of despair is down the main passage between the two altars. It will be difficult. The Maskin have fortified their position, but I am confident that with your help, we can defeat them. Will you help us retake the altar of despair and drive the Maskin out of Cylon once and for all? Ah, Miryl's beloved surprise attack. A perfect example of why males do not hold command positions. He has failed to consider the risks of his plan. If the Maskin have prepared an ambush along that route, we would be slaughtered. We're better off storming the main passage, where our superior strength and blade work can come into play. Are you ready to help us destroy the Maskin? That's an excellent idea. They cannot refuse entry to an emissary of Lord Sheogorath. Return at once when you have their deployments. This could make all the difference. For Sheogorath's glory. How may I serve?
Hail. What is it, emissary? We hold the altar of despair, here within the shrine of the flame of Agnon. Continue down the corridor if you wish to meditate there upon the fate of all things mortal. For Sheogorath's glory. A mortal wandering the halls of holy Cylon, and a male no less. Explain yourself. Then I am at your service. The Grakedric Ulfri commands here. You will wish to speak to her at once, no doubt. For Sheogorath's glory. How may I serve? Sheogorath's blessings upon you. How may I serve? Hail. The altar of rapture will be ours.
Greetings, emissary. We await your command. Are you ready to help us destroy the Mazkin and take control of the Altar of Despair? Are all males so obstinate? Have I not already told you that I consider that route too risky? What makes you think you can persuade me when my own lieutenant cannot? You've seen this with your own eyes? I must be sure it isn't a trap if I'm to take such a risk. Myrrel was very convincing as well. Very well, we'll risk it. The Underdeep it is. May Sheogorath's divine madness possess us today. Down with the Maskin! Oriole, follow me! Orsheo Gorap! A top Oriole! Death to the Maskin, for the glory of Sheo Gorap!
For the Mad God!
For the Mad God! For the Mad God! For Sheo Gorap! Kneel before the saints! Kneel before the saints! For Sheo Gorap! Oriole! Kneel before the saints! For Sheo Gorap! Kneel before the saints! For Sheo Gorap!
For the Mad God! For the Mad God!
For Sheo Gorap! For Sheo Gorap! A-Top Oriole! For the Mad God! Victory is ours. I have already selected a candidate for the honor of kindling the altar of rapture. I will now claim the honor of victory for myself, here on the altar of despair. The altars can only be kindled by the willing sacrifice of a Maskin or an Oriole. It is my great honor to release my soul to Oblivion in service to Lord Sheogorath. Farewell. I will not walk these lands for many a year. Thanks to you, the Maskin have been utterly defeated. For Sheogorath's glory.
brought it. The holy flame of Agnon, the fire of inspiration and rapture. If you light the great torch on the mania side of the Sacellum, you will be a hero to the people of Bliss, I assure you. Do not think about it. Dream about it. Let your mind soar on flights of...
Ah, you burn with the purging fire of Agnon, the flame of truth, the flickering beacon of hope in the gloom of despond. Come, light the great torch for dementia. Illuminate the conspiracies, deepen the shadows. The people of Crucible await their hero. Yes, let your mind worry at the problem. Let fear and dismay over making the wrong choice sink their talons deep into your brain.
You're talking to me, and I don't like you. Goodbye. Greetings. So, you've decided to light the torch for Mania? I knew I saw the glint of true mania in your eyes, my child. Go now, and let the holy flame inspire the people of Bliss to new heights of madness.
Aye. Another sheep returns to the flock. Aren't you off to a good start? That's important. For me. Really, your work is going to save me a lot of time. The Grey March is upon us, and the ordering begins. Armies of order, sweep my realm! Death! Destruction! Then I have to pick up the pieces. And there are always lots of pieces. I don't like it, having to rebuild my realm every era. Sometimes I forget where things go, like New Sheoth. I can never remember where it belongs. You'll change that. Break the cycle. You'll stop Jiggalag, and I'll have my realm to come back to. I've never actually tried that before. Why not? Something has to work. Once I dug a pit and filled it with clouds. Or was it clowns? It doesn't matter. It didn't slow him down. To be honest, it wasn't the best idea. And it really began to smell. Must have been clowns. Clouds don't smell bad. They taste of butter. And tears. But this is all new. A fresh idea. Something I hadn't thought of. Until I did. It's sure to work, even though it might not. Now, you'll need the respect of my citizens. They'll need a leader, someone to look up to when I'm gone. They're the backbone of any great land. Except where their backbone is an actual backbone. Ever been to Malakoth's realm? Oh, nasty stuff. But back to the business at hand. You'll need to control one of the courts of madness. Replace a current duke, or duchess, whichever. That will command respect. The people will rally around you. You'll have their love, their admiration, their complaints, whatever, as long as it keeps them on our side. No. No. Absolutely not. Well, yes, absolutely. Bit of a shame for them. But sometimes you need to break a few eggs. Or skulls. There are rules, though, even in the Isles. Rituals and rules. You need to follow them. Speak to Artis and Dervenin, the high priest at the Sacelum Arden Sul. They can explain what needs to be done. And you've always got our man Haskell to call on for help. Faithful, like a good hound, that one. And he looks better in a suit. It's already started, but you might be able to stop it. We're making you into a leader the people can trust. Someone to look up to. Someone to blame. Once I'm gone, things usually get bad quickly. Lots of defections, lots of carnage, but with you at the helm, things will be different. This time, I'll beat him. I can't stand losing, and I don't mind cheating. Ta, come visit again, or I'll pluck out your eyes.
I'm disappointed in your choice. You'll find Mania to be a fickle friend. Interesting. Not many wish to hear about such things, but I would be glad to oblige. Becoming the Duke of Dementia requires passage through the ritual of accession, specific guidelines set forth by Arden Sul himself. Seldom is the subject ever Wait a moment. Did you want to hear the history of the ritual? Very well. Spoken like a true son of the Demented. To become the ruler of Dementia, the current leader's heart must be cut out and brought to the altar of Arden Sul in the Sacelum. Once this is done, I can pronounce the heart-bearer a duke or duchess. Then, all that is required is the blessing of our Lord Sheogorath.
The great torch shines with the pure light of Mania. You chose well. In accordance with the ancient tradition, receive now the raiment of Arden Sul in honor of your mighty deed in service to Mania. Yes, Arden Sul. Doesn't the name simply roll wonderfully off the tongue? He was the sovereign of thought and a regnant artist. To call him a simple craftsman would not suffice. Know him as the artificer superior. Words dripped like honey from his tongue, and his songs were intoned with extraordinary verisimilitude. Had we been blessed with his constant presence, the Isles would be a maniac's paradise. An important part of our history, my friend. I would be glad to tell the tale if you have a moment. Certainly. When the ruler of Mania has decided it is time, he will choose a successor from his court. The successor is invited to a huge celebration, a night of hedonistic revelry, wine, song, and, of course, green moat. During this, the exiting regent imbibes 3 doses of the potent drug. This causes his heart to burst, and his lifeblood flows from his body. The successor then gathers the drug-tainted blood and brings it to the altar of Arden Sul in the Sacelum. Once this is done, I will proclaim the successor a duke or duchess. Then Sheogorath gives his blessing, and the cycle is completed.
How nice for you! Does that mean you've made a decision? Or are you lost? Suicidal? Just let me know. A friendly word of warning before you choose. Once you've decided which Duke to replace, there's no turning back. One choice. No more. No less. Try not to do something stupid. So which is it? What will it be? Mania? Dementia? The suspense is killing me! Or you, if I have to keep waiting. A safer choice, perhaps. Maybe you'll live through this. Théoden's a bit lost these days. Not that it's a bad thing. It suits him. Until now. Besides, won't it be a grand surprise when you make his heart burst from too much green mote? Théoden loves surprises. It'll be in full swing soon. Excited? You shouldn't be. It's the death of all things. But if we can get you into shape, we might stand a chance. You'll lead my forces, inspire my people. Hopefully, everyone won't end up dead. He'll be here soon, and I'll be gone. Can't say I like the sound of that. I like the sound of other things, though, like birds and bones cracking. Théoden may be in a constant state of euphoria, but I wouldn't underestimate his intelligence. Ha ha! This is so much fun! We will speak when your task is complete.
How may I serve?
Welcome.
How can I help you this fine day? I've heard that skinned hounds don't like fire. Such a kind and noble man. In times like these, it's good to have a leader who still enjoys all the modern pleasures Mania has to offer. Well, yes, apart from enjoying his painting, reading a good book, or a rousing night of erotic bedroom games. I'm speaking of Greenmote, of course. There is no greater pleasure. If I didn't have such a busy daily routine, I'd likely indulge myself in its pleasures more often. Very well, I see little harm in telling you. After a bit of reading in the garden and running my special errand at noon, I like to shop at Books of Bliss. Around 8 p.m. we are served dinner. Gundlar is quite a chef and prepares Théoden's meals personally, adding just a hint of Greenmote. After that, we dance, we sing, or we do whatever else suits my lord's tastes. Greenmote is the refined version of the spores that are harvested from the spore trees that dot Mania. We keep the Greenmote safely tucked inside the Greenmote silo. You can imagine the ruckus if its location was known. Only a select few, such as myself, know the silo's location. However, we are sworn to secrecy. Yes, I must attend to him. Speaking to you has already cost me time. Again, we cross paths. There isn't enough gold or enough jokes in the world that would convince me to tell you where the green moat is located. Tell me more. See? Thank you. See? Was that for me? Thanks. There isn't... Farewell.
Cylorn is ours at last, thanks to you. Cylorn is ours at last, thanks to you.